Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island. And we are here for the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce's annual policy conference. And we have Ryan Hundt here, who's head of the Michigan Works Association, and a guest, Jeremy Hodges. Jeremy, what do you do?
So I am I am the executive director of the Michigan Center for Adult College Success.
Okay, what does that mean?
A great question because it's hard to tell from the name. So what we do is we work with colleges and universities to help them change how they deliver education to better serve adult learners.
Oh, okay. So the non-traditional learner, the one we want to be more educated to get back in the workforce.
Exactly. We've got 2.4 million adults without a college degree in the state of Michigan. So anything we can do to help make it easier, if they've got work, family responsibilities, it's hard. Education's the third priority. So how do we make it easier for them to get that credential they need to fill those better paying jobs?
So this is an interesting question, and this comes right into your bailiwick too. What's kind of your customer? What's your constituent profile, so to speak?
So we primarily work with the institutions, but we do a lot of research and engagement with the adult learners themselves to learn about their needs and their challenges. So we do a lot of research with the adults, focus groups, conversations, and then we take that and help bring that understanding to the administrations at colleges and universities and help them reshape how they work. Yeah.
Okay, well, Ryan, I can see why you brought Jeremy. It was a good guess, right?
Great guy.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Okay, what are the challenges in your world?
Biggest challenges right now that we're facing. So, as you know, Chris, being a board member of the Michigan Works Association, you hear all the time about the dual customer that we serve, both the job seeker and the employer. Simply put, we have over 175,000 job openings across the state with not enough bodies to fill them. So, that's a challenge on the talent front. We're also faced with the challenges of barriers to employment for individuals that are looking for jobs. They're wanting to get back into the workforce, but they're presented with significant and fairly complex barriers to employment, things that the three of us might oftentimes take for granted, things like a reliable car for transportation or childcare or food access. And so, how can the Michigan Works system work collaboratively with state partners and community partners to help solve for some of those barriers and get people into a position where they can have a pathway to a sustainable career?
It's interesting because we talked a little bit about DC today. I don't know how that came up, but there has to be some challenges there. Funding right now is haywire.
Yeah, certainly. What we're seeing right now, based on the way that the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act Title I formula dollars flow to the state of Michigan and to other states around the country, we're expected to take about a 10% cut to those dollars starting on July 1 of this year. And that's just in the state of Michigan. So some of the Michigan Works agencies, so there's 16 local agencies around the state, some of them are taking larger cuts than that. So while one might be taking a 5% cut, others are taking up to a 30, maybe even a 35% cut in those WIOA dollars. And the four areas that are taking the most significant cuts in those dollars starting on July 1 are in rural areas of northern Michigan. And they, need those resources now more than ever to help address the challenges that their businesses and their job seekers are facing.
Well, and if you have a high unemployment rate, it's in that Antrim area.
Correct. And so what we're hoping to do is continue conversations with lawmakers in Lansing, but also in Washington, D.C. I know there's conversations right now that are taking place around how can they consolidate some of the workforce programming at the federal level. We think they need to continue making significant investments into the local workforce system to stand up apprenticeships, stand up more skilled trades jobs, and make sure that we can meet the reality that we're seeing on the ground today.
And maybe you can help me put some sense to the fact that we have a shortage of workers and yet we're exporting many.
Yes, yeah, that's another significant challenge that again will take, I think, the collaborative nature of the three of us and many across the state of Michigan and across the country for us to try and address how can we help retain the talent in Michigan that we have. We have lots of potential, lots of young people that we want to keep here in Michigan. Make sure that we're reducing that brain drain over the years, and that way we can create more jobs, create more companies as well in the entrepreneurship sector, and make sure that we're delivering results both for the adult learners, for the youth, for job seekers and for companies in all 83 counties of Michigan.
You're absolutely right. And I might put in a little plug for immigration reform, but I don't want to dwell on that. Jeremy, what about funding for you? Are you affected?
From the federal level, our funding directly, no. However, it has a huge impact on a lot of our partners. Obviously, Michigan Works are impacted, and we work with them because they're the ones on the front line working with those adults that are looking for those credentials. A lot of our institutions are impacted, so a lot of our partners are. So it's trying to work creatively with them to figure out how can we do the things that need to happen to better serve these adults and make sure we can deliver in a time when you're seeing these resources being constrained. And that's a big challenge. As Ryan laid out, I mean, all of the challenges he laid out that these adults are facing, obviously we're seeing on the post-secondary side, the transportation, childcare, et cetera. So when those safety net programs are getting hurt like that, it just makes those challenges harder to overcome.
Mhm.
Well, there's a few things we've got to overcome. Let's keep diligent about attacking them. All right. All right. Ryan, Jeremy, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate you. Keep up the good work. We need you guys.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
All right. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman coming to you from the Grand Hotel and the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce's annual policy conference. We'll be back.